Hey friends, Scott Smith with the Smith Team at Keller Williams. I wanted to continue along the lines of our downsizing theme for the month of May and also just share with you some of the life events that will trigger a move. So, one of the biggest questions we get just about every day is how do we move from house A to house B? That is such a big dilemma for people, and they just a lot of times just get stuck in the paralysis of trying to figure out what to do first. So, want to share with you seven different ideas that will prompt a move for those life events that always happen to us, and kind of think of the homeownership life cycle. The first one is the first D, I should say, is usually starts with diamonds. So a young couple gets engaged. The next thing they do after the wedding is they want to buy their first home. So diamonds will an engagement or a wedding will prompt a move within the next 6 to 12 months once they've kind of let the dust settle on all the wedding festivities. The next thing, a few years down the road, typically is diapers. So once that baby comes along, the family, young family, is established in their home, typically established in their jobs, and they're looking for a place maybe to expand a little bit more space within that home. Maybe going from their first home as a townhome or a starter home to something a little bit bigger. The third D is with diplomas. And one of the biggest factors when any family is making a move is looking at diplomas, and school district is very, very important to them. So they want to make sure that school district where they're moving, if they're moving from within this metro area or even out of state, school district is always top of the list for so many people to make sure that they're investing in a good school system. And that has a huge impact on property values. So diplomas is the third D. And the fourth D, unfortunately, in the world we live in today, is a divorce. So those couples that are getting married, another life event, unfortunately, that might prompt a sale of a home and moving to something else is a divorce. And unfortunately, 50% I think is the number that you hear. 50% of marriages result in a divorce. So the next thing that might prompt a move is downsizing. So those families are growing, and maybe the kids are growing up and getting out of the house. We're getting close to that. Is downsizing. You don't need a 4 or 5 bedroom house. If you're like us, we have some of those rooms in our home that we don't even go into sometimes for a week or even longer, just kind of as a catch-all for different things. So the downsizing dilemma certainly is something, but when you move from that larger home to something smaller, what that looks like. The sixth D that I want to share with you is down south. Obviously our Minnesota climates, we have the seasonal changes, but we have a lot of snowbirds as well. So we'll have many families that will be we've worked with over the years. They're saying, you know what, we're ready for retirement. We're going to buy a place down south, and looking at some of those warmer winters rather than the brutal Minnesota winters that we experience up here. So moving down south and getting out of here for the winter time is certainly a consideration. And the last one, the seventh D, is a death. And obviously, I've shared with you some of the journey that we've gone through with the passing of our dad. And going through a death in a family will prompt an estate sale and what that looks like and kind of navigating that process. So those are seven different ideas that might prompt a move. And so think of why people have moved within your family or different circles. And I bet you can probably check off all those boxes for some of those people. So if you run into anyone that's looking at making a move, any of those scenarios, or even if it's not one of those scenarios, certainly reach out to us, 651-777. 3434. We'll be more than happy to help you navigate the process and make sure it's a smooth move. Have a great weekend. Bye now.